Alright, so we had a quick look around the outside of my van. Now we're going to look on the overview of the inside, and then we'll do some other videos and kind of drill down into the different components. So come on in, let's check out the crib. So to start off, this layout I saw originally, it's actually like the Solis Winnebago. I rented one of them, which is on the Ram ProMaster platform. Really loved that layout at a really high level. That's kind of what my van is based on. It doesn't look anything nice or as smart as the Solis, but I like the bench seat up front. I like where the kitchen was. I like where the bed was in the back, and that kind of layout is kind of what I went with. And so I'll kind of start at the bottom and go up about some of the real simple stuff that I built out. And you'll see this is very utilitarian. It's comfortable. I have found that anytime I've done something, I've wanted to change it. So there's no cabinetry in here. There's nothing really in here that I actually can't take out and turn this back into a van probably in 20 minutes. So everything's removable or movable. And I've done that as well so that I can adjust it out. So I've moved my bed around a lot. I've moved my kitchen a lot. I've moved some things around. The only thing that is really fixed from the word go, and it's removable, we'll show you, is my bench seat up front. Otherwise everything can be stripped out. But starting on the bottom, I didn't go fancy with my flooring. I basically used horse mats, and I've got some insulation underneath. So no building up, nothing crazy or anything like that. We've basically got some real thin insulation that was used to kind of level out the grooves that you get in the floor. And then on top of that, we got our horse mats, and these are pretty cheap. I love them. I can sweep them out. They don't get dirty. They're extremely grippy. So when I put stuff on the floor, it doesn't slide around or move around at all. So that's kind of at the bottom. And then this main front area, I do have a bench seat that I put in. And this has seat belts, and as I showed in the last video, it's actually attached with angle iron on the underside. Super secure, and it's removable, and we'll kind of show you that when we look at the electrics. And the electrics are all underneath my bench seat, so I didn't want to take up any garage space, and I didn't want to do anything of my wheel wells in the back that took up space with electrical water. So actually all my electrical systems are basically around the front on this front seat area. And then in my front seat area, then I have kind of like my little office. So we've got basically a table on a knockoff Lagoon table, and I have a second monitor there, and so I can basically sit and work, and we'll show you how that table comes out in a little bit. Up front, if anyone's getting the any of the Transits, I highly recommend getting, this is the middle of the screen kind of screen that you can get. There's a bigger one that can come that would be super nice. There's a smaller one that's not as nice, but this has Apple Play, it has Apple CarPlay, really nice graphics on it, really nice backup camera. So that was another thing I was looking for when I got this. Up front as well, I have swivel seats on both sides. So my passenger seat, super easy to swing around. And this actually gives me a lot of room. So once it's up, we often have people sitting here if I'm working. My other seat here spins around pretty easily, and to show you that setup. Just open the door, get some of this stuff swung around. Pretty easy. And then I can also work here. So kind of the whole front of my van here just kind of turns into kind of an office area, which is super nice. And if we're doing overnight or we're sitting around in the evening, having chairs that spin around just really open up a fairly small space inside the van as it is. So yeah, and then they just turn back around, super easy, and you're off. And these are the Scopama, I think that's how you say it. Swivel seats, I got these are the lowest ones. They are the most expensive ones, worth every penny. So if you're looking at doing them, and I'll put a link to getting them. There's like 5 or 6 big manufacturers out there, tons of reviews on all this stuff. They're all actually pretty easy to install. So that's kind of the front end of the van. I haven't really done anything with my headliner. It didn't come with a shelf or anything like that, and I don't really want to change it. And then really kind of high level on the way I just built out the inside. I didn't frame it. I didn't do anything crazy like that. This is all pretty much from the ceiling down, insulated with 2-inch 3M, and it's basically just glued to the ceiling with Thinsulite 2mm insulation, and then 3M spray to the ceiling. And that actually, I drove around with that for a long time. They have kind of a black side on it, and it kind of looks finished. And then all I did was basically put up some 1x6 pine. This is basically T-nutted into where I could find in my van. And then we basically went ahead, and this is a drop cloth that comes from Harbor Freight, and that is just glued to the top. And it gives me this kind of nice material. It's great sound in here. The sound is so dead. I love, there's no echo. Driving down the road, my van is super quiet. And I really didn't want to have to deal with, you see a lot of people finish their ceilings with tongue and groove and weird angles and all this kind of stuff. I didn't want to have to deal with that. So basically, this has worked out really well for me. It's kind of given me a nice finish. And I've really kind of extended that down the sides on the back here. And really all it is, I have some very thin foam insulation. I have some deadening sound panels. And then we've basically just glued on the drop cloth, and it's worked out really well. Didn't need hardly any carpentry skills to put it up there. So that's kind of how like the main inside of my van was finished out. The other bit that we have here, come on up, is my kitchen and sink area here. This is super basic. You can see it's built out of 2x4, and the thing that I have everything attached to back here is on what's called E-Track. So this is what they use in tractor trailers or commercial trailers to secure stuff down. It works on long rails, and you get these different types of adapters that can click in here, and I'll show you some of them. So this is specifically for 2x4. So actually this whole unit here is removable. It's on a piece of E-Track that's down at the bottom there, that's secured in with 2 brackets, and this actually can move back and forward. In fact, you can see when I first had this in here, this was further back. When I put it in, I wasn't 100% sure where I wanted it, and I wanted to be able to use it and see what felt right. So you can see my trim was back here. I found that I didn't need as much opening here to come in and out. I wanted more space back here with my bed, and so I was actually able to adjust this back and forward on my E-Track until I found the perfect spot. And so I haven't moved it. I moved it about 3 or 4 times, and it's been in this spot for about 8-9 months. It's just perfect. I have the right amount of room through here. I have enough opening here. Now, if I'd have built this out in a cabinetry, I wouldn't have had those choices. The rest of the, we'll look at the plumbing in another video, as well as the electrics. Just looking at the bed here, this is also just mounted straight on E-Track, that's mounted on a 1x12 piece of pine that is T-nutted into my side of the van in about 6 or 7 spots. And really the way the bed works is, and I've done this a couple of different ways. Once again, it's super flexible because I can try it out how I want it. Started off with this queen, and then I kind of wanted to keep this space open here, and you'll see when I have the queen set up, it doesn't do that. And so I went from kind of doing a north-south bed, which is what it is right now, to an east-west. And because I didn't build anything out or have any walls, and I didn't need to use flares, this side bit here and the height of this here, when I had that built, I could actually fit a double mattress lengthways on this, and I fit across it almost exactly. You know, my head and my feet were right on the wall, but if I slept diagonally, it was fine. And that kept this platform a little bit smaller. But I do like having the bigger bed. And so right now, the way this works is this is built out of 3 separate panels. And they actually, so right now it's kind of pushed back. And when we kind of go into sleep mode, all this just slides forward, comes and locks into my thing here. That fits right there. So yeah, super adjustable. Fits in both sides. That's now locked in. So I still can get to my sink if I need to. Lost a little bit of counter space. This area's got a bit smaller, but it's fine for sleeping. And then at night, I've got a trifold mattress here. And so now this is my bed. And I come up here nice and sleepy. And a lot of people are going to be like, well, you can't sit up on your bed, you've got no headroom. And I see a lot of van builds with this bed so much lower. And one of the reasons I haven't done that, and you'll see that when we get into the back, is for storage. And I'm not living up here. I'm not hanging out with a dog Instagramming out the back. I'm just sleeping up here. And so this works perfectly for me. Depending on your use case for, you know, whatever you're doing, you may think this is too high, but if you're in an RV, this is about as much headroom as you need to sleep. And then at the same time, once we built these panels out, grab the camera for a second, I have some little side cubbies that we put in down here. So all along, I've got some storage all the way along either side, where I've got all kinds of crazy stuff in there. But you notice I have no cabinets. I don't want them. I think that they take up too much headroom, and so we're not doing cabinets. So that's kind of the bed system. Once again, super easy to put away. In the morning, I just get up, fold this guy back up like that, get my panel, slide that back under there, and lock back in there, and now I'm back to having more space in here, more counter space. And then I also use this for almost like a standing desk. So when I'm sorting out equipment and stuff, I use this area for that too, which is kind of nice. And having a trifold mattress is great. You can super easy to take that in and out. So that's kind of this area here. We'll shoot around the back and then we'll finish up there. So like I said, my bed is pretty high. And so I have a really good garage area back here. And there's a couple of specific things that I've kind of tweaked out more than anything. So I do have a lot of equipment that I store in here and take in and out all the time. One of the reasons I have this so high is I can actually put my bike in here, and we'll show you some pictures of that later on. And so you can see my bike fits nicely in here. I haven't had to take the front wheel off. And then I'll show you at the back. I really just have it clipped in back against my back tire there, and that just holds it in place. So, and I can put 2 bikes side by side, no problem in the back there. Storage, super, you know, if you ever get one of these on your back door, that's super. I have all kinds of junk that I store in there. I have actually a 10x10 that I could store back here, and when I save it up enough pennies, I want to get a Fiamma awning to go on my my rack. That's probably next season, or a Christmas present to myself this year that will go on there. But also in my bed area here, the other thing that I've done is my bed is not all the way back to my door. So I had it here for a long time, and it was really annoying. Just when you're stepping up into the van or doing anything, you're always banging your head on this. And so it's all worked out. And once again, because I have my E-Track, my bed moves. I can have it back and forward. And in fact, I can move this E-Track. I've moved it up and down. I have 6 inches that I can move that up and down by just unscrewing this, putting it somewhere else on my side panels to do that. And the last thing we'll show you is I just put these in, and I don't know if I love it or not. We'll see how it goes. And so, you know, storage is always a big issue when I'm going around. I've always got totes back here with stuff that I'm trying to find. And it was funny, I always had like 6 or 7, well, not that many, 4 or 5 totes that I always had in here that had the same stuff in, whether it's recovery gear, power cables, stuff that I use for every single event. And I was stacking and unstacking these bins all the time. And so I went with this slightly smaller stacking bins and built this like, it's out of like 2x2. It's pretty small wood. And basically, you know, each of these is on here and they're held on with a bungee, and they all just slide in and out. It's pretty easy to get my stuff. It's a new addition. Still don't know if I love it or not, but once again, because it's fairly easy to take in and out, it's not such a big deal. So that's my storage kind of on this side, and then once again I have this really big open space for whatever I want for my equipment when I need it. And once again, my bed, this I can take out probably in under 5 minutes. It's 3 panels that just lift off. So if I need a full height van for anything, if I want to take, you know, do construction stuff, or maybe I want to put my motorcycle in the back or something like that, very easy to take the bed out. And that's kind of like was the idea behind this build, which is a little bit different from, you know, the other full out builds you see. Is I did want to be able to turn this back to a van, but I still also want it to be like super functional and capable about what I wanted to do. So that kind of wraps up the kind of inside tour, high level. The next couple of videos we'll take a look at, you know, what I did with my plumbing, look at the power system, and you know, a couple of other things related to the communications and other stuff that I do inside the van. Make sure you subscribe.